from a lot of families who come in, and the greatest thing that happened for their child is the wish. The child was just so engrossed in the granted wish and everything that happened because of it. Roxanne, tell us about Daniel's wish.
Hi, Roxanne.
Hi.
Welcome, Kirk.
Hello.
Welcome, Megan.
Dan's wish was a Lego shopping spree. He loved Legos. So when we told him that he would qualify for a wish and we could give him something to look forward to, he said, I want Legos.
So what does that mean? They just bring over some boxes of Legos to the house?
Well, they let him go through a catalog and pick out like a dozen Lego sets that he wanted.
Wow.
And then, once he picked out those, I emailed them to his wish granter. I included the Millennium Falcon. He did not put that on his list, but he kept looking at it and saying, oh man, that would be a really fun one.
Did he think it was too much?
Yeah,
maybe?
he did. He thought it was too much. So he didn't put it on his list, so I put it on the list and said, he's not asking for this, but if you choose to give it to him, he'd be really excited. And he opened that box and his eyes went so huge. It was just incredible watching him see what he got.
Kirk, what was Dan's condition? Why was he qualified for a wish?
Dan had a genetic condition called Shwachman-Diamond syndrome, and in a nutshell, it's a pancreatic insufficiency, which is controlled with enzymes and certain vitamins, but it's also considered a pre-bone marrow failure condition. So a lot of these kids go on to get leukemia. And while the leukemia rate for kids is not bad these days, with Shwachman kids, it's almost universally fatal.
Okay.
And so they decided after doing bone marrow biopsies for several years that he had developed a change in his marrow, and they decided to do this bone marrow transplant before he got into a problem, and it was the chemo that really led to our eventual issues.
Well, Kurt, isn't a bone marrow transplant, number one, isn't it super painful? A bone marrow transplant?
Not for the recipient.
It is for the donor.
Well, I wouldn't call it. I was his donor, and
Oh, okay.
I was not. It was uncomfortable, but I wouldn't put it to the level of painful necessarily. But maybe I've just got a
high threshold.
High threshold
maybe?
for pain or no brain. It's
Well,
hard to say.
and the end game. I mean, you knew what you were doing it for. That probably made it hurt a little less, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't do that for their kids?
Yeah. So you're looking through the catalog of Legos. You see Dan stops on the Millennium Falcon page every time. Doesn't put it on the list. Doesn't include it. It's too much. I don't deserve this. And you say to make a wish, if you want, go ahead and throw it in. So how much time was spent just sitting on the floor playing with Legos after the Lego wish is granted?
Well, he only had a week, but from the time of the from the time of his wish party, he entered the hospital the following week. In that time, he made a couple of the Lego sets, the smaller ones, and we got a lot of them ready to take to the hospital because he thought that would be a great thing to have at the hospital. Build Legos while you're sitting in a bed and aren't allowed to go anywhere.
Absolutely.
So I think he took 3 sets with him to the hospital to work on. He got through 1.5 before he ended up being sedated for treatments. But that's what he did. The first 3 weeks in the hospital, if he wasn't playing with the video game, he was playing with Legos.
Can you describe the look on Dan's face when he was given all the Legos?
Oh, he was just awestruck. He was...
Dad just made the look.
He just made the look. He was awestruck. And I'm looking at the picture of the Millennium Falcon one. I think I am. Is that it?
Yeah.
It says 16 and plus on there, so you had to be old. So he probably loved that because he was 11.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We had planned, we knew that one was too big to take to the hospital. But we also knew that once he was done with the transplant, he would have to be home for like 6 months without being out and about. And Dan was a social butterfly. He wanted to be here and there.
Yeah.
So we had planned that one for working on after we got him home. That would be our family project. We would all build it.
When was he set to come home?
Well, we assumed he would be home in the fall,
Okay. When did he pass away?
August 19th, 2008.
So did he get to? Did you get to? I don't know how I want to word this. You said he was sedated a lot because of procedures he was going through. Was he constantly sedated, or did you guys? He was.
Because the chemo had such an effect on him, it was causing a condition called mucositis, which made it very difficult for him to swallow, but they were also afraid of his ability to breathe. So he was intubated, put on a ventilator, and while he was on that, the bleeding situation became uncontrollable. His kidneys started to shut down, and he had to start dialysis. For about 10 weeks he was intubated, and his condition just kind of weakened from there, so they couldn't get him off the vent, but he needed the vent. It was one of those, whatever they did to treat him made his condition worse by the treatment they gave him, but they needed it to keep him going, and eventually it all just folded.
Did you know that it was all going to fold at that point? I mean, did you guys know that? Was
Right.
there a point
where you're looking forward to him coming home in the fall?
Yeah.
When did you know that he wasn't going to be coming home in the fall?
About 3 days before he died, the docs said I had gone. It was a Sunday morning, and Kirk was home with Megan that morning, and they said, "Can you have Kirk come in? Because we really want to talk to both of you at the same time." And I thought, oh, that's not good. So he came in, and they said his liver is starting to shut down, and we can deal with the kidneys with the dialysis. We can't deal with both. There's just too much going on, and there's really nothing more we can do.
So you've seen the power of the wish, the look on his face. You still remember it. You made it for us, Kirk. Dan passes away, and you guys look at that box, Millennium Falcon, unopened at this point, or so unopened, waiting for him to come back in the fall. He's not coming back. How long before you guys opened it?
I think we'd started talking about it probably during the holidays. What are we going to do with this set, and how do we want to, deal with it? And I don't even remember how we came up with this plan, but we decided to have friends and family come on a couple of Saturdays during the winter and just build Legos, and we built the Millennium Falcon. We had 20 people come over the course of 2 Saturdays.
That's awesome.
And I went through the set and put each step into a bag, so people could come in and just take a baggie and go to a table and build that piece.
Great idea.
It was great. We had a great time. We laughed. We cried, but we laughed mostly. And we played fun music that Dan liked, and we had munchies that we all enjoyed, and friends came from La Crosse, and friends came from Watertown, and we had a great time.
So you complete the Millennium Falcon, and what did you do with it?
Eventually, we gave it back to Make-A-Wish. We took it back apart, put it all back in the box, neat and tidy, and said, "Here, let somebody else use it, because it's just collecting dust, and we can't. It's not right. Somebody else should enjoy this."
We hear it every time we talk
really nice
to a Wish family, Roxanne. I mean, the kids are super strong. The kids are so selfless. Again, with the parents, with the whole family, you see what you were able to do over those couple weeks, getting the friends and family together to rebuild it, and then you say, "Hey, make a wish, make this happen for someone else." That is awesome. 855-231-WISH is the number for you to call. 855-231-9474.
We're looking for Wish Club members.